Hey everyone. So tonight I'm going to talk to you a little bit about prepping. That's what January all this prep stuff is about. So we're going to talk about power cooking chicken. So I went today to Sam's Club, bought a big old pack of chicken, and I'm just gonna take my knife and open this up. One of the easiest ways to cook chicken is in I still have the quick cooker, but it's the multi-cooker now. And I'm gonna do that, but I'm also gonna show you how I slice some of this up too. So I'm just gonna take a couple pieces here. And I'm kind of particular about my meat. So I like to trim off anything that I don't want, if it looks fatty or whatever. I don't care to have that extra fat in there. The butchers a lot of times do a pretty good job, but hey, they're in a hurry. They're trying to put all that out there at one time, so. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll bring this home and I'll trim up a piece of meat like this, and there we go. If I want to cut it, because these breasts are pretty big pieces. I'll take another one and trim a little bit off of it. And I'll get some gallon zip bags or sometimes quart zip bags. I haven't set those out just yet, because I was really just going to show you a few of them before we moved on to the pressure cooker. I will take a couple of these chicken breasts after I trim them up, and I'll get my closing cut, and I'll fit this in here. You see how fat that is, or how long it is? It really extends past the thing, but I just sort of curl it up, and I don't press it all the way down, because that bottom piece will go down, and then it's not really in half. So I just sort of sit it there. This is the larger chef's knife, the coated one. If you use a smaller one, it doesn't exactly go through. This one is as big as the circumference of this is, so it works a lot better. I used to try to do it with the Santoku knife, and it didn't go all the way across it. So, as you can see, there we have two pieces, and it splits a little bit sometimes, but usually when I put it in the bag and let it freeze, it sort of freezes together and it's okay. So I'm going to do that with a couple of these here. Trim a little bit more of this off. Now sometimes I will cut my chicken and do them in the closing cut like this, and sometimes I'll just cut it in big chunks. Sometimes I'll cut it in finer chunks if I think it's something that I'm gonna do a recipe like taco meat or fajitas or something that I'm gonna end up cutting it in smaller pieces anyway. I'll just save me some time later by going ahead and doing that. Okay, so there's two more pieces. I'm gonna set that aside and let that be. And I'm gonna get a few of these bigger pieces here and just cut off some fat and show you what we're gonna do. Because I will put several of these pieces in my quick cooker. You need to have water in the quick cooker. That's what makes it come to pressure and actually pressure cook. So I will, depending on whether you're wanting to come away from this with some broth, chicken broth, you might want to do extra water. Most of the time it's recommended to always use at least a cup. So I will probably do about a cup and a half, because by the time you have the chicken juices in there with it, that makes quite a bit of chicken broth. And then you can save it in a container for later. Okay. Get this out of here. And the reason why I want to cut this off now and not just cook it and cut it out later is because it'll save me a little bit of time. Trying to get this little piece right here. Okay, these are two pretty good sized pieces of chicken. So I'm gonna come over here to the quick cooker, take this out, and just put this in. Let me cut a light on here so we can see what we're doing. Wash my hands, we don't want to get raw chicken all over everything. Now what I like to do is just go ahead. Let me get my cup and a half of water here. And just do this regular. You could go ahead and add your seasonings in if you know what you're doing, but I would rather come away from it afterwards when it's already cooked and just have plain chicken and chicken broth and then season it the way I want it. I might decide I'm going to use that chicken and make a chicken pie and just do salt and pepper and, I don't know, poultry seasoning. Or I might decide I'm going to do Mexican and throw in some taco seasoning or Southwest seasoning. Or we might be going Italian and doing something a whole different direction. I think I am going to do a little bit more chicken than that. Okay. So if you're not familiar with pressure cooking, you're going to close it up. You want to make sure that this is set to seal. And the way you can tell with this is it has a little picture of a cloud here and it has one right here. You want to make sure both of those are lined up the same. We want to plug it in and it comes on. And we are just going to turn this. It has presets on it here. We're going to turn it to chicken poultry, 15 minutes. Push start. Now it's going to come up. You're going to have this nice little box with the little lines that are just, they're going to do this for a while. It's okay. It's not stuck. It's not doing its thing. It is. It takes about 10 minutes, 15 minutes for that to come to pressure. Once it does, you'll hear a beep, and then this was set for 15 minutes. So it's going to say 15 and it's going to start counting down. Once it counts down, it's going to beep again, and you can do one of two things. You can either let it release pressure on its own, which is called natural pressure release. And you just, what you do there is you don't do a thing. The pressure cooker flips over to warming, you just let it go. Or if you're impatient and you want to go ahead and get it out, because once this comes to pressure, it's locked, it's not opening at all. You can push this valve and it allows all the steam to escape, and then the little pin here where it would have come up, it'll pop back down, then it can be opened. So we're just going to let this do its thing. It's done, and move on. I'm going to finish cutting up my chicken. Like I said, by doing this earlier in the week, you can have cooked chicken in your refrigerator, probably last 2 or 3 days. I would figure out what I'm doing with it or go ahead and freeze it. This may go in soup for us. I think tonight I'm going to do some enchiladas. Could be a chicken pie, chicken and dumplings, sky's the limit, guys, but you've already got your chicken cooked for you and made it easy. So that's power cooking our chicken. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.